welcome to my Python programming session. Right now, I wanted to show you a very easy application through Python's Tkinter module. And in this application, you'll have a button. And when you click on that button, it's going to load an image. So it's a very good application for people who are just learning Python, so beginning programmers can try this because it's very easy and doesn't require that many lines of code. And it sounds like a meaningful application. So let's get started. So I have my Python shell open over here, and I am going to click on File and New File to write my program. And the first line that I'm going to type is from Tkinter import star. And this line will basically import Python's Tkinter module into my program because Python has many different modules. So you have to let Python know which module you want to use. And basically through this import statement, you let your program know that you're using this specific module. In the next line, I'm going to write a command that will create my window, on top of which I'm going to put my button. So the command to create the window is tk and open and close parentheses. Now if I run only these two lines of code, so it's asking, I'm just going to save it in my documents and I'll just name it image loading example and save it. So now when I run those two lines of code, you can see that I have a window over here. So I'm going to close this and I'm going to store this window that I created through TK in my variable window. So this will basically store my window tk in my variable window, and again variable is the container where you can store numbers, letters, and strings. So once I stored that, in the third line, I am going to create a title for my window because right now I don't have a title. So to create a title for your window, you type window dot title, and then I'm going to load an image of the Grand Canyon. So I write window dot title and then a parenthesis and quotation and then the title of my window. So I'll say Grand Canyon and then close the quotation. So parenthesis, quotation, Grand Canyon, close quotation, close parenthesis. Now if you run these 3 lines of code and hit OK, you can see that my heading is here. So I don't have a big window right now. So that's why you can't see the heading. But as we move along the code, we will be creating a canvas and all of that, which will make our window bigger. But right now we just have the window and the window title. In the next line, I'm going to create a canvas that I'm going to put on top of my window. And basically the canvas is going to be my surface on top of which I will put my buttons and the picture. So first you create the window, then you create the canvas, then you put the buttons and picture on your canvas. And canvas is going to be your main surface here. So to create a canvas, there's a code in Python's Tkinter module. It's canvas, and then you put a parenthesis and you type window. So basically you are saying that on this window that you created in the second line, on this window you are putting a canvas, and the width of the canvas is going to be 500 and the height of the canvas is going to be 500 as well. And then you close it. And I'm going to store all my canvas and canvas properties in my variable canvas with a lowercase c. So canvas equals this. So So right now, since I stored this in my variable canvas, I can just refer to my canvas as lowercase canvas instead of writing uh, all these values here. So I stored my canvas. And now if I run these 4 lines of code, you still don't see any canvas on my window. And that's because I have to write another line of code that will visualize my canvas. So right now, my canvas is not visual. So the one thing I'm going to do here is I can comment on this, and basically commenting means that you're writing some comment about your code. Python is not going to run those comments as long as you put a pound sign before that. So pound, and here my canvas is not visual yet, right? I just mention the properties, but canvas is not visual, and I have commented that. You can see that it turned into red, which means that Python is not going to run this code. It has a pound sign in front, so it's basically for commenting and describing your code. So now I'm going to visualize my canvas, and to visualize your canvas, you need to type another code, which is canvas.pack. So this pack function is basically going to visualize your canvas. So what you're doing here is you're taking this canvas and you are packing it with a opening and closing parenthesis, and that's going to visualize it. So if you run these several lines of code, you can see that I have my Grand Canyon and a big canvas on top of my window. And this is where we're going to put our button and the picture. So let's go ahead and create our button. We don't have any button on our canvas. And to create the button, right after your window title, you can write your codes for the button. So this is the code for button. I am commenting that. And to create a button, this is the command that you're going to type. So button, capital B, and then you're going to put that button in the window, similar you did the canvas over here. So on my window over here, I'm putting my button, and on top of the button, I will have this label, or the text on top of my button will say, click me for picture. And then I close, and make sure click me for picture is inside this parenthesis, quotation like this, and put text equal to, and then close the parenthesis which you started here, and store your button, all of these inside a variable, and I will just name this btn. Btn equals to this, and again this is just for this is just the code for the button. You just created the button, but it's not visual yet. So again, this is not visual. I comment that. So let's make it visual. And to make it visual, you need code similar to this. This pack function will actually visualize it. So I'm going to go right after this, and I am going to visualize my button. So the code for that is you take your button variable, so which stores all your button properties. So button dot pack, open and close parenthesis. Now if I run all of these, let's see what we have. So as you can see, we have click me for picture. So as you can see, I can click this button all day long, but nothing is happening as of now. So so I need to write a few more codes where when I click on this picture, some kind of actual picture appears in this canvas. So let's go ahead and do that. So the first thing is we need to load an image first, right? Because when you click the main goal of this application is when you click on this button, a picture appears, right? So we don't have any kind of picture as of now. So we're going to go ahead and load that picture. And to load that picture, let's just right after you created your canvas, let's just write some code to load a picture. So if I go to my documents folder, I'll show you something. So in my documents folder, I have already saved a picture of Grand Canyon right over here, Grand Canyon 1. So if I click on this, you can see this Grand Canyon picture. And if I right click on it and click on properties, you can see that it's the name of the picture is Grand Canyon and it's a GIF file. So Tkinter, your Tkinter module can only deal with GIF files. So if you are dealing with images or photos, just make sure you save it as a GIF file because those are the only kind of files that Tkinter can work with. So my Grand Canyon picture is a GIF file. I have already saved it in my documents folder, and I'm going to write some code right now through which I'm going to load the image, that Grand Canyon image that I just showed you into my program. So this is what I'm going to write. I will write to load an image into your program. This is the code: photo image, and then you put a parenthesis, and photo image is basically the command by which you're going to load the image, and then in parenthesis you type the file the file name of your picture. So I'll type file equal to and then quotation, and then I go back to my Grand Canyon picture which I saved in my documents. I right click on it, I click on properties. That will show me some information about my picture. And here you can see the location where I saved it. So I'm just going to copy this location, go back to my program and paste it here. So this is my location, right? So in Python, in Tkinter, you now need to change these slash to double slash like this. So I'll just change this to double slash, and double slash. And then at the end, I'll put a double slash 2. And as soon as you do that, it brings a drop down. And here, if you use your down key arrow in your keyboard, so if you just click on that, you can see all the things that you have saved in your documents folder. So I am interested in the Grand Canyon file, so I'm going to click on this drop down and look for that Grand Canyon GIF file right over here, and then hit enter on my keyboard. So hit enter, and then I have the Grand Canyon 1.gif. So as soon as you have that file name, your picture file name, you close the quotation and the parenthesis, and you store this picture inside a variable. And I'll just name that my image. So all I did in this line is I loaded my image and stored that image inside my image variable. And then in the next line, I'm going to, so my image is not visual yet. So to visualize my image, I'm going to write where on the canvas I want my picture to appear. So I'm going to type canvas dot create underscore image 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, comma, anchor equals northwest, comma, image equals my underscore image, and then close. So what I am doing here is I am basically telling my program that on my canvas, which I created over here, on my canvas, create an image, and the image is going to be at the 0 and 0. Its x coordinate is going to be 0. Its y coordinate is going to be 0, which is basically like the top left corner of my canvas, because that's where the x and y coordinate is in my canvas. And then you are going anchor northwest means that my picture's top left side is going to start at this coordinate. And then I mention which image I need to put on my canvas. So I write image equal. So which image is going to be my image over here, which is storing this file. So I'm going to put for the image command, I'm going to put my image on top over here, and then this will actually visualize my canvas, my picture. So now if I run this, you can see that my Grand Canyon picture has loaded. I mean, if you can make the canvas larger if you want to see the entire picture, but at least the picture has loaded. But my main goal is I want to click on this picture and only see the picture when I click on the button. I don't want to look at the picture right when the program loads. So to do that, we are going to make some changes in our code. So I explained function before, and function is basically a block of code, reusable code that you can write once and use it again and again in your program instead of writing your code multiple times. So write like a group of code, a common code, and then use it again and again in your code. So that's what's called function. It's a block of code that you can reuse. So let's create a function in which my picture is going to be loaded. So I'll create a function to load an image. So right after the Tkinter import line in over here, I'm going to write a function. And to create a function, the first thing, so let me just comment this. So this will be my function to load image. So that's, I commented that out. So to create a function, you write def, which basically means define. So def, and then you name the function. So the name of my function, you can name your function anything. I'm going to name my function click code because basically what I'm writing a function which will load an image when I click on my button. So this is what the function is going to do, is it's going to load the image when I click on button. So define, the name of the function is click code. That's why I'm naming it as click code, and then you put an open and close parenthesis. That's how you always define function, and you put a colon, then you hit enter, and Python automatically tabs the next line. And this image is basically going to load my image, right? And that code, I have already written that over here, right? These two lines of code, it just loads the image. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut these two lines, and I'm going to paste this in my under my function. Make sure you tab both of these two lines. Over here, I need to associate this click code. So right now, if you see, I have defined the function. So if I run my code right now, see, you don't have the picture. If you click me for picture, still you can't see the picture. And the reason for that is you have created your button over here, right? But when you click on the button, nothing happens because you haven't associated your button with this function that you created. So here you just defined the function. This function just loads the image, but now you need to call the function or use the function with your button code so that when you click on your button, the image loads. So what to call the function on this line, in my button line, I wanted to load the image by calling this function. So on my button line over here, I'm going to write a comma and then write command equals click code. Just add this line, command equals click code. So here I am basically calling my click code function, which is right over here, which loads the image. I'm calling my click code function here, and I'm writing this on the same line where I created the button. So what's going to happen right now is when I click on the button, this click code function is going to be called from here, and this will basically load my image. So let's go ahead and run this and see if it still works. And I have my button here. If I click on my button, you still don't see the image, which means that something is wrong. And usually what happened is that when you created this function, you loaded the image and you put it on canvas, but we will need one more line of code in which this image is going to be referred back to the click code function and to the canvas and eventually to the function, because these two lines that you see here is good for loading the image, but when you are loading an image under a function and then associating that with another button, then you need to store your image or refer your image back to the function and the canvas. So you need to store your image reference again to load the image. So what I'm going to write over here is canvas dot my image equals my image underscore image. So what I'm doing here is I am taking my image and storing it back into the canvas again, referring it back to the canvas under this function, so that when it's connected to this button, it loads the image. So this line is actually needed when you are loading your image under a function like that. So if I run this, all of these, and hit OK, if I click me for picture, now the picture has loaded. So that's it for today. I kind of showed you this is a good program to learn. I showed you how to create a button, how to build your own function and associate that function with that button so that when you click on the button, your function is called. In this case, our function was loading a picture. So when we clicked on the button, the picture loaded. So I hope that was helpful and enjoy. Bye-bye.